Hello everyone, this is James Wassam back here with you. It's Monday morning at Dunrovin Ranch in Lolo, Montana. And Ashley just came out. She's getting ready to get things ready to go. And Ashley, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing today.
Hello. So Raz and I are going to go on a little bareback ride in the arena. And I like doing bareback rides because it's less of an interference between me and my body and his body, since there's not a saddle in the way. And so he is able to feel my body movements a lot more, and it gets me in tune with being able to move him with my body rather than trying to rely on riding aids like reins or a whip or something like that. And so it just creates a better line of communication between rider and horse. So we're gonna go get him and get him not saddled up, I guess, padded up, and I'll be back. And Raz is the only one I've done this with. He's the one that I trust the most. Not that I think anyone else is gonna, kick me off or anything, but I feel like it makes a better bond between horse and rider too.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they've had their breakfast, so they shouldn't be too distracted by food now, and hopefully they've had enough time to eat that they're not worried about getting back to it as well.
Yeah, and he shouldn't be worried about getting back to his friends. Hello, big baby. Oh, he rolled in something else again. Gosh, he's such a little 3-year-old boy. Raz is usually a pretty easy catch, but he's always like so far away. And so what I want to work with on Raz today is getting him to gait. And I can do it sometimes when he's under saddle. He always wants to pace or trot. So he and I have really been working on just getting him doing that running walk rather than pacing or trotting. And so consistency is key. Hi, buddy. Ready to go to work?
I don't think Raz could have been farther away from you.
Nope, he could have been all the way in the corner of the south pasture, but that gate's closed. One day I went out to go get him to go for a ride, and he was just laying down. And I had my halter in my hand, and he just didn't get up. So I was just like, okay, fine, we won't go for a ride today then. Come on. Yeah, we're going to work. Let's go. For being such athletic creatures, horses are so lazy. But if I weighed 1,000 pounds, I probably wouldn't want to move a whole lot either.
I'm really athletic when I get off the couch, too.
Yeah. Or when they see something imaginary and want to run away from it. Excuse me, Miss Lady. Oh, hey. Augie. Of course, Monty's got to come in and see what's going on. Back up. Come on. Get out of my way. Monty's like, what about me? You're not going to ride me today?
Yeah, Ashley, how many times have you ridden Raz at this point?
Get back. Back up. I mean, probably at least a dozen, I think. I try to go at least once a week, and I've been working here now for almost 2 months. 3. I would like to ride him more in the winter pasture I just would like someone else to go with me. But maybe I'll get brave and go by myself one day. All right, so we're gonna do his little check right now. So I just wanna make sure that his legs are crossing over. There's nothing weird going on. Good boy, whoa. Good boy. I'm gonna get him to turn his head. Make sure he has flexibility. Good boy. One more, turn your head. Good boy. One more time. Good. And that's also just to get him listening and focused on me. I know you can turn in a tighter circle. There you go, good boy. Oh no, wake up. Whoa. Good boy. Turn your head. Yeah, we've gotten to the point where I don't really have to give him the commands anymore. He knows what to do. Good boy. One more. Turn your head. Good boy. Walk on. Yeah, back up. Back up. Back up. Back. Back. Good boy. Walk. Oh, don't be a giraffe. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Good boy.
Sometimes I feel like it's a test of wills.
Yeah, sometimes it really is. He'll just be stubborn as all can get out, and I just have to be patient with him. Good boy. The tying posts are starting to get dips down in them, so I'm going to put him on this more flat side. She'll make him have to step up. Good job.
I need to talk to Suzanne about getting some gravel in. Oftentimes we'll bring a load of gravel for the wintertime so that we can throw some out as it gets snowy and icy, and we can fill in some of these divots, because definitely come winter and springtime, those will fill in with water and we'll get ice and all kinds of stuff built up there.
Yeah, we really need to do something about Chinook stall too. Get some more gravel in there, because it gets water in it and it's not hot enough now, and the water just isn't going anywhere.
No, that's
So
true.
now it's all like mucky and murky. It's gross. But it's like if I forget forget to turn off the 100-gallon trough in time, it'll overflow, and then it'll overflow to his stall. We'll get that little river in front of the thing, in front of the gate. So I've been careful about not overflowing it, because there's that big crack in the side, so it won't fill up all the way, and you can't see the level of the water until it starts overflowing out of the side.
Yeah, I'll have to look and see if there's some heavy-duty epoxy to seal that up. It'd probably be fine if it's in one spot, but when we move it around, it can crack pretty easy, so I'll have to see if there's a good way to patch that.
Yeah, the only time it would get moved is when we tip it over to dump it out.
Right.
We need some Flex Seal or Flex Tape. So normally when I ride with the bareback pad, I just put the pad on his back, and then I can kind of like feel his spine on my butt basically, and I can tell that I'm sitting in the center. But today I want to try it with his regular saddle pad, just to give us a little bit more cushion, I guess. And that way it'll make the bareback pad not slide around as much, hopefully. So I'm going to try that today. And so I've been riding bareback as a way to, like Suzanne says, to put quarters in your pockets or tape them to your butt to see where you're sitting in the saddle. That doesn't really work when you're in bareback, but if you do that, then it's an easier way to work on your seating anyways. And so that way I can make sure that I'm sitting up straight and in the center of his back and not leaning to one side or another. And riding without stirrups is really fun. Sarcasm. All the horses are getting so fluffy. And it's crazy, their coats will grow, like, depending on the week of the weather. So it's not necessarily like they just grow it all out at one time. If it gets cold for a couple days, they'll grow longer hair. And then if it warms up, they'll shed their coat out again. So it really depends on the weather day by day, not just like the season.
Amazing. Seems like a lot of energy goes into making that happen, especially if the weather starts to transition in these wild swings where it'll get really cold and then it'll warm up pretty warm again and then go back. That's a lot of work for the horse.
Yeah, a lot of energy that they have to use, so we got to keep feeding them. Which, especially now that there's no grass in the pastures, we have to feed them more hay anyways. So we've almost gone through, I mean, it's not almost gone, but like the far side of the barn where all the hay is stacked up, we're about halfway through those bales. But we haven't even touched the ones on the close side yet, so I think we'll be good on hay.
Wow. Oh, that's great. Yeah, we're going to be getting another shipment in here in another few weeks. We'll probably put some over in the winter pasture because I think we will keep a few horses over there, and then we'll fill up the rest of the barn here on this side. Should be good for the winter, hopefully.
Yeah.
So what's been your experience in the past riding horses? Has it been with Tennessee walkers, or what's been your kind of primary focus before coming to Dunrovin?
So when I was a kid, I took lessons every week, every Wednesday, I remember. And it was mostly like lesson horses, and so they were all older, around Raz's age when I started. Mainly like quarter horses, some thoroughbreds, some Arabians. And because they were older and lesson horses, they weren't quite so crazy. But as I got older, they would put me on younger horses. And I remember this one Arabian that I rode, his name was Opie. And he was a little bit bigger than Raz, but the same exact color. And I think he had like a white leg or something like that. But he was just certified crazy. And they let me ride him around. And we did some jumping. I started out riding Western. And I was okay with it, and it was like just a good learning experience just to get me in the saddle. But then I saw some of the girls at the barn were riding English, and they were doing jumping, they were trotting over poles and stuff, and I was like, I want to do that. So I told my trainer one day, I was like, I think I'm ready to switch to English. And she was like, you know what, I think you are too. So from then on, I started learning that, and so it's a little bit different of a style of riding. When you trot, you have to post. So you have to go with, I can't remember at this point, but whatever lead is like on the outside or the inside, you have to stand up at that time and go up and down with the horse's steps, basically. So that makes a lot of leg strength. And then also cantering is a bit different, and going over jumps and stuff too. And so usually for that, I was riding like thoroughbreds or some warm bloods. They're just a bit bigger, longer legs, and they can jump higher. But I've gone on like a couple trail rides, but I never had the opportunity to like go out on a trail and go do stuff like that. So it was mainly just riding in the arena every week, which I was okay with. I just got to go hang out with horses. Yeah, I'm gonna make you look nice and handsome. I'm gonna be on camera. Yes.
Yeah, so we have a couple questions coming in about our training schedule for Augie. And yeah, definitely had a little bit of a change in plans again. We've changed plans for training a few times for Brandon Carpenter to come back out, and right now I think that's going to be another week or two away.
Yeah, I think Suzanne was saying the 19th and the 20th.
Yeah, I think that's right. So, yeah, we'll definitely be getting Brandon out here as soon as possible. He'll be coming in and doing some initial training, and then Ashley, I think you're going to be kind of primed and ready to go to do teletraining. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. So I guess, Brandon will be training me via a Zoom chat, I would imagine, after that.
Right. Yeah.
I'm fingers crossed that it actually happens because I'm really excited for it. And if he doesn't get to come until it starts snowing, then we'll do training in the snow. I don't care. I really want to learn how to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that gives you a whole new bond with a horse for sure.
Oh, yeah. And in my free time, I've been watching some like YouTube videos about people either training walking horses to gait or, just like basically saddle breaking them. So I'm kind of learning about it, and I want to, pursue that interest a little bit more. So I'm excited for Brandon to come out. All right. So we got him brushed out. He's nice and handsome now. I'm going to grab his pads.
Yeah, now that all the weeds are gone and everything, we don't have any more thistles and burrs for them to get into, so that's nice.
Oh, there's still burrs.
Are there still some out there?
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of big ones in the runway, and so as long as they're not over there, then they won't get into them. But there's a little one in the south pasture that I need to pull out. But no, all the weeds are not gone, definitely.
Now you're putting a regular saddle pad down, and then the bareback pad.
Yeah,
right?
So this is his regular saddle pad. I think I'm going to take these extra pads out. Last time I rode him with the bareback pad, it just felt like I was putting too much pressure on his spine because I could really feel his back, and it wasn't comfortable for me, so it couldn't have been comfortable for him. So I'm going to put this extra pad on, and then we'll do the bareback pad. And the cinch is a little bit too big for him, and so the pad will kind of slide around. So I'm hoping by putting an extra layer that it'll take up that extra space that I need.
Now, is this your pad, or is this something that we've had here at Dunrovin? I don't think I've seen this before.
No, it was here. I found it in one of the totes in the grain shed. I was looking around,
Oh, okay.
Just rummaging around one day looking for stuff, and I saw this, and I was like, hey, I know what that is. I'm going to use it.
That's awesome.
So, no, the day that I buy tack for Raz is the day that it's over. I don't need to be spending money on horses.
Yep.
Okay, so helmet always before bridle. That was one thing that was drilled into my head as a young rider, is that you always put your helmet on before you put your bridle on, because once you put your bridle on, you got to be ready to go, because you can't just leave them there with it. So I'm going to take his halter off and put it on his neck for this one. Normally we leave their halters on. Usually when I ride him, I'll just have his bridle on. I'm not going anywhere. And so he's still connected to the post. He's not going to go anywhere. He's a good boy. So I'm trying to ask him to lower his head. I'm just putting pressure between his ears. Good boy. We've been having some trouble with getting the bit in, so I'm going to take my time today.
Yeah, this is why you keep the halter around the neck.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm going to put it back on his head. This is not. Usually he's not a brat like this, but today he wants to be.
I guess if it's around his face or his nose, then he can't really walk off like that. Whereas if it's around his neck, it gives him a little bit more lead, I suppose, right?
Yep. So we'll just leave it alone. It's okay. Good boy. And it bothers me when their hair is not all in the right place. So I always take the time to fix it. It's weird, I know. All right. Let's head on in. I want to leave room around that barrel because I'm probably going to walk him in circles around the barrels. Riding bareback is really good for getting your turning down, because then you can really use your legs on him a lot more rather than trying to use the reins, which is what I have been working on. And so last time when we did our horsing around, Suzanne was telling me that my hands have gotten a lot quieter with Monty. And basically what that means is that, like, I'm not raising them up and down. I'm not moving my elbows around. I really have been working on just using the squeezing to control them. So I'm pretty proud of that. I feel like we could do the last one. Too tight? Okay. I hear you. Okay, hopefully that stays put. I wish there was a way I could connect a breast collar to it to keep it from sliding, but there really just isn't. All right. Let's walk him around this way so we can get to the mounting block. Good boy. And so mounting onto a pad with no stirrups is a bit different than onto a saddle. Whoa. I'm gonna move my block where I need it to be. And he's good about staying put, so I don't have to worry about that. Scoot it up as far as I need it to be.
Yeah, mounting's a little bit different without stirrups, I suppose.
Yeah, so there's nothing to put my foot into over here, so that's why I grabbed the tall block. So basically I can just swing my leg over him and then get centered using my upper body rather than the stirrups of my legs. And then so you can see my legs are just going to hang right here the whole time. And that is really what the bareback pad is good for, is teaching you where to keep your legs and to keep that grip. So using the inside of my thigh to grip and also the inside of the back of my calves to stay on him, because I don't want to just be flopping around like that because I'm not going to stay on. So really, if you don't have the saddle in the way, it gives you a lot more room to grip your legs around the horse. And then I can squeeze him forward. Good boy. And it also helps the rider work on balance because you don't have stirrups or a nice seat to stay in. So you actually really have to rely on your legs to stay on. And of course I did leg day at the gym yesterday too, but I'm not as sore as last week. Oh, he is wanting to move today. This is awesome. Usually when we just get started, it's a very slow, lazy walk, but today he's doing his deliberate walk right off the bat, which is awesome. He's ready to work. Yeah, this is much better with the other pad underneath it. I can still feel his spine under me, and so I can tell when I'm sitting centered or not. But it's not quite so close contact that it's going to cause either of us any pain, especially if he does speed up and trot and I start bouncing, and it's not going to be bouncing right on his spine. That was a good little lap. And we're going to turn around. I would love to learn how to ride with just a neck rope. And that's basically just a rope that goes, you know, kind of at the base of their neck around their shoulders. And you're really just relying on your legs at that point because you're not really going to be able to steer them. And then the neck rope is just there for you to hold on to if you need it. You can also give them a little pressure with it, but it's not anything like reins for guiding them. But it just really gets you to work on your leg cues rather than relying on reins to pull them in either direction. So I want to work on keeping his head square. He keeps looking to the inside, looking to the outside. So wherever direction he looks, I give him a pull on the opposite rein to get him looking straight again. And when he goes towards the center of the arena, I just put my inside leg on him to get him back to the outside. Seems like he's a little feisty this morning. Okay, so I'm going to cross over across the middle here. I really want to work on turning today and getting him to go straight through the turns. And so when I approach the rail, I give him the direction of the leg that I want him to go. So I squeeze him with just my right leg to get him to go to the left. It's getting a little slow, so I'm going to give him a squeeze. There we go. Good boy. And you can tell he's listening to me. His ears are pointed back at me. And he likes it when I talk to him while we're riding. So it's pretty good that I'm doing this chat too. Whoa. He's starting to pick up a bit of a pace, and I don't want him to, so I'm pulling him back, giving him that little half halt. So I'm going to collect my reins up here a bit shorter, and I'm going to start easing him into a running walk, and that's what we're going to work on too. See if we can't go around these barrels. I was not a barrel racer in my time. I don't think I would have enjoyed that. It's a little too fast and crazy for me. Although people think jumping over 2-foot fences is crazy too.
I think I would have just been a rodeo clown.
See if I can get him in between the two. Yeah, good job. Do that one more time. So for these turns, I'm really just trying to use my leg to get him and then just pulling the rein to get him a little tighter circle. Good boy. So now we're gonna go back to the rail. And going counterclockwise is the direction that he prefers to do his running walk. So we're gonna start there just to get him into it, and then we will turn around and do it the opposite direction once he's actually going. I'm giving him little squeezes. And also without a saddle, it's easier for me to tell if he's gonna break his gait because I can actually feel it a lot better.
Now, what do you feel when that gait changes? Like, where do you feel it? Is it like the muscles, or is it the bone structure? Like, what changes?
It's actually the pace and the way that his body is bouncing. When horses trot, it's much more of an up and down kind of bounce versus a walk, which is more of like a rolling kind of bouncing. So while he's walking, my hips are going with him. And if I notice that I start bouncing up and down, then I know that he's trotting. Which, because he's a walking horse, he's gonna pace and not necessarily trot. So it'll look like his legs are, so basically when they walk, their two legs go on the same side at the same time. And when they trot, it's called on the diagonal. So the two opposite legs will go at the same time. But because they're Tennessee walking horses, they can pace. And so basically they can trot with their two legs on the same side at the same time. And so I've caught it on video on my phone a couple times where I thought I was doing the running walk with him, but really he was just pacing. But it's just a different tempo. So there, that was a little breaking his gait, and I started bouncing a bit more. So I'm gonna pull my reins in, give him a squeeze. Nope. And now he's breaking his gait. I see Suzanne pulling up in her red minivan. Oh, that was a sneeze and a fart at the same time. Usually about this point in our ride, he'll let out all his sneezes, so I'm just gonna let him. He's a very snorty kind of guy. Oh, wow. You got any more? Yeah, you do. Let it out. So there he broke his gait again. Which he has a beautiful trot. I'm not going to deny that. That's just not what I want. And I don't want him to just automatically go into a trot every time. I want him to do a running walk. So that's why we have to work so hard on just getting him to do the running walk rather than just trotting right off the bat. And so each time he tries to dart to the middle of the arena, I take my outside leg off and just put my inside leg on. wonder, now that Suzanne has seen me riding, if she'll come over here and give me some tips. Good boy.
Is he kind of spooked by something over there by the rail? He's kind of veered away from it a couple different times now.
I know, I'm not sure. I know the soccer balls are over there, but he's seen them before.
A lot of fun.
Whoa.
And very educational for certain.
Yeah, it's all about that exchange of energy. So as long as you're coming from the right place. Whoa. This is a spot where he doesn't like. So I don't see anything that could be. I mean, his lead rope is dangling over there. That could be it. Maybe he thinks it's a hose or a snake or something. But it's this spot in particular. And so, like, the shadows of the rails are on the dirt. And I'm wondering if that's throwing him off. Because there's a bunch of, like, crisscross lines. So I'm wondering if that's, like, he's trying to step over them or trying to avoid it. But it's just shadows. And then there's, like, the feed buckets, which he knows what those are. Or maybe it's the hay rake or the hay bag or the poop rake or the hay bags on the wall. But we can just get him here, get him nice and calm down. Just standing in the spot that he doesn't like. Yeah, this double pad situation is much better. So we were gonna work on one thing today, something else came up, so we'll work on that instead. I'm gonna give him a turnaround and we'll go walk back through there again. Good boy. Good boy. Maybe it's that little mounting block he sees right there. Good boy. And I can already feel that my legs are getting fatigued a lot faster than they would be under saddle, which means that they're working, they're doing their job.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about that. It looks like it's definitely more strenuous trying to maintain balance and keep centered and all of that.
And not to mention squeezing one leg or the other to get him back on track.
Right. I noticed just in the last few minutes the wind has picked up a little bit, so it's getting a little breezier. I wonder if there's any sort of reaction to that you might be experiencing.
I don't know. I've ridden him on some windy days and he seems to be okay. He does seem a little bit more feisty today, but maybe that's because it was a cool morning. Maybe it's because it's Monday. Who knows what's going on in a horse's brain. And also, his birthday was yesterday, so he is 18 years old now.
All right. Happy
So we're going for a little birthday
Raz.
ride. And I think Miss Maud's birthday is tomorrow, so maybe we'll have to do a little birthday celebration later today. I just bought some baby carrots, so I'll bring some out for them later.
Nice.
I would like to get through the rail one time without him spooking away from it, so let's see if we can do that. Good boy. So he's still shying his shoulders away, so we're going to keep walking through it.
Yeah, this is very useful, especially for training for riding out on the trail, because a lot of the trails we go on are not that wide, and if there's something they want to shy away from. They're getting off trail and going somewhere where you really don't want them to go. So.
Exactly. And he also needs to be able to trust me that I'm going to guide him through it and nothing bad is going to happen to him. He can't just be getting scared and taking off with me. So I'm keeping my inside leg on him. Good boy. Whoa. Good job. So I'm going to let him stand here for a second. Just let it marinate in his mind that we just walked through it with no problem. Good job. Good boy. Let's go. There we go. He's breaking his gait, pulling back on the reins. Yeah, when he starts getting all bouncy like that, that's when I know he's breaking his gait. And it's really more, I don't know if it's that visible on a camera or to someone like watching it, but you can definitely feel it. And the more, I guess, experience that you have riding in the running walk versus not, you can tell when they're about to break. So it's all about practice. Let's go through that one more time. He is being a lot better about it. Good boy. Good, that was awesome.
There's a question about horse and human year equivalency. Do you know if there's a standard multiplier for comparing horses to human age?
I don't know if it's a standard multiplier there, like for every year, but I know that like once they're around 3, they're around like 17 years old in human years. So Augie right now is in his bratty teenage stage. But once you get up to like Monty's age where he's 21, that's like a person in their 60s. So they're old and wise and they know what's going on. So it kind of depends. I can look that up. But definitely any horse under 5 is like just a bratty teenager, you know, a 20-year-old who thinks they know everything. And then like, I guess like a 1-year-old horse is like a 10-year-old kid. So they're just very playful and, whoa, where are we going? That wasn't very nice. I really would like to get to the bottom of whatever this issue is. However, I don't speak horse, so I don't know what's going on with him. All I can do is work with him to get through it. And he's looking at something over there to the left. It could be the lead rope that's hanging. I just feel like sometimes, you know, they've seen things 1,000 times in their life and they're still going to spook at it. So you never know. Let's turn around. Let's go through it one more time. So I'm keeping my inside leg on him, keeping pressure on the outside rein. Good boy. All right, we went right through that one, so we're going to keep going. And I had to explain the inside-outside rein thing to Jess last week because you don't want to say left rein or right rein if you're going around an arena because you could change directions and it could be the opposite in half a second. So it's better to say inside leg, inside rein, outside leg, outside rein, so you know which side to pull on depending on what direction you're going to. And then it doesn't matter what direction you are in the arena. But if you're on like a trail or something, or like we were down at the river and I had to instruct Hadley, the little girl that was riding Dugan, to get him over to where the rest of the horses were. And so I was telling her, kick with your left leg, pull with your right leg, kick, kick, kick. And so in a situation like that, it's helpful to have the left and the right because you don't have inside and outside at that point. Yeah, he is just not liking this rail, which means we're going to do it more and more. So he seems to be okay going this way now. I'm going to keep my inside leg on him so he shouldn't be able to go anywhere. Good boy. Good job. Good job. All right, my inside leg here is starting to cramp up, so we'll probably we'll probably wrap this up in the next 10 minutes. So I'd like to get him a full lap around either way without him shying away from that. So that's what we'll do right now. He is so sneaky about his pacing. He's like, if I do it slow enough, you won't be able to tell the difference, but I can.
Yeah, tries to fool you by easing into it. He seems a little more comfortable. I can definitely tell you're still working on him to keep him there, but...
And I manifested in my mind that you're going to walk straight through this and you're going to be okay. And so he did, and he was. And now he's going to be a brat at this one.
Because I distracted both of you.
I feel like with a bareback pad also, he can tell better when I turn my head and he can feel my body turning. So that also helps us to work on me looking straight and also looking in the direction I want to go to. Because especially right now, if I look in the wrong direction or if I'm just looking at his ears, then he's going to be able to tell that better than when I'm in the saddle.
That's a really good point.
Good boy. Almost. We almost had it. Good job. Maybe I'll just let him trot for a minute. Inside leg, outside rein, get back to the rail. Yeah, usually when we do trot, that's the spot that he likes to take off on, so that's why I put a lot of pressure there, get him back to it. So most of the squeezing that I'm doing right now is really just with my calves and kind of like my hamstrings to hold on. And trotting with no stirrups is infinitely harder than walking. I knew he was going to do that. Put pressure on the inside, get him back to the rail. Let's see if we can get him to turn around. Sometimes I find that getting him into a pace or a trot and slowing him down to a running walk works. So I try that sometimes too, but let's see if we can just trot right through this. Good boy. I don't want him to cut his corner. Yeah, let the sneezes out. I'd love to be able to canter on him one day. I don't know if I'll do that bareback first or in the saddle, but cantering in the arena would be cool. And because they're trail horses and they're Tennessee walkers, they're not really asked to do that often. So that's something that we could work on. That would be cool. Which one day I was riding him through the runway in the riparian, and we were running up the side of the poop mountain, and he broke into a canter to get up the hill and then through the rest of the runway back to the gate. And I rode through it, and it was beautiful. So I would love to see him actually do that under saddle with me asking for it. But we're just gonna walk some circles now just to get him calmed down. And we'll go through this difficult part a couple more times. Yeah. Yeah, and he usually does that on that side, where he'll just take off towards the center. And he does that during horsing around, during drill team, anytime he wants to. So I try to keep my inside leg on him at that point. But sometimes, you know, he is stronger than I am, and he's just like, okay, I feel your pressure, however, I'm going to do what I want anyways. So at that point, that's when I get the rein and pull him back towards the rail. We've been doing a lot better on our turning. Usually I will give him a leg cue, then I'll turn my head, and then I'll give him the rein. So that way he already has 2 steps to know where we're going to go before I have to pull on his mouth. And that way I can keep my hands even quieter. But it's nice that he's a very sensitive and responsive horse. Like, I don't have to wear spurs with him. I don't have to have a crop or anything. So he's a really good guy to ride. And I like that he's got some spirit. You know, he's not just like a brain dead trail horse that's just going around in circles. Like, he's definitely got a mind of his own, and he's got a bit of an attitude, which is a-okay with me. Good boy. All right. I'm gonna walk past that scary part one more time, and I think we'll wrap it up after that. And so as long as I have it in my mind that he's just gonna walk straight through it, then hopefully telepathy will work and he'll just walk through. Good boy. So you can see my left leg is dangling. I just have my right leg on him, keeping him through it. Good boy. Good job. So same thing on this side, just have my inside leg on him. I'm gonna squeeze him forward. And he's just gonna walk straight. Good boy. All right, with that, I think it's time we can wrap it up. So I'm just gonna go pick a spot in the middle somewhere and dismount. And dismounting is also a bit different on a bareback pad. You don't have the left stirrup to get your balance in. Whoa, good boy. So I'll take hold of my reins, take a chunk of mane, and then basically just swing my right leg over and then go to the ground and use my knees as like a suspension so I don't just drop down. Good job. So that's good. I mean, we wanted to work on running walk today. That didn't really happen, but we found something else to do and we worked through it. And, you know, by the end of the ride, we were able to accomplish what we needed to fix. So that's good. I'm gonna get him brushed up and then go give him back to his friends. And then we'll see him later. Let's do a little birthday celebration later today. So, see you guys next time.
Nice, that was awesome. Thank you, Ashley. We'll be back a little bit later with some more fun here, but we'll take a break and you'll hear the sounds of the ranch in the background, and Ashley will put Raz away, and we'll get ready for what's coming up next. So be sure and stay tuned. We'll be back in a bit.